Okay, so with the Tokyo Game Show being about 3 to 4 weeks away now, and Capcom being there, I wanted to kind of go over what could be announced for kind of Resident Evil in the future, whether that's a new game, DLC for Village, whatever, and kind of go over the ideas of what to expect if they make a Resident Evil announcement, and what is upcoming that they could potentially talk about at their presentation there. Before we do get started, I made a video called days ago about the current leak of a Resident Evil 3 director's cut game that I'm very kind of not believing in. I don't think it's real, but I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks because apparently that's when it's being announced. But that video did really well, so thank you for everyone who came by, new subscribers, also hello, welcome, and the video took off for me. It was a huge success, so thank you for that. But either way, let's get into the Tokyo Game Show Capcom prediction video and kind of go over what we could see or what we could see announced. So elephant in the room, I guess, is this Resident Evil 3 Director's Nemesis Edition cut game that has been leaked lately. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video, obviously, like I said, a couple days ago about it, which has all the information you need about the leak and what was said. I'll leave a link to the description in that. And this kind of is an interesting one because people want it. People do want this to happen. People want a full Resident Evil 3 remake. Again, the issue with the 3 remake at how it is now and at launch was a lot was missing and a lot was changed from the original, which kind of doesn't really make it a remake. With a remake of a game, you want it to be as faithful to the original as possible. Even with the movie, they do that too. But it just wasn't. Like, a lot was gone. Characters were changed, scenarios were changed, and it did feel like a completely different game for most people who played the original, so there was a bit of complaints about it there. Obviously, people who hadn't played the original did enjoy the game, despite its really short length. I think it's one of the shortest games in the series now, the remake. Even if you play it to like a normal speed, it's like a 3 to 4 hour game, so it's not particularly long anyway. But anyway, this leak is supposed to be like the full definitive remake, adding in scenarios from the original that were missing, making the game a bit more open, explorable. To kind of explain that briefly, you know how Resident Evil 2 Remake, you can kind of go from the tram that takes you to the lab all the way back to the start of the game. You can't do that in the 3 Remake. It locks you out of certain areas to a certain point of the game. And that was a thing that people kind of didn't like. So apparently that's the thing that's being added alongside, Nemesis improvements, new weapons, enemy types, locations, extra scenarios, stuff like that. The list itself is, to me, a huge wish list. It just kind of seems like it's pointing out all the things people want in a massive list, and the artwork on the picture is debunked to be fake. Now that could just be something someone's made as a placeholder, but the information could be true. Who knows? Again, Tokyo Game Show was when this was rumoured to be announced, so I guess we'll see if it's real or not. But at the minute, I'm personally sitting on the fact that it's not. But if it is, then hey, that's pretty good. On top of video games in the series, we're going to talk about something else really briefly, and this is the upcoming movie reboot. There is a potential there for a trailer for the film. The film at the minute is an interesting topic. I don't think I'm going to do a video solely on the film because we've seen so little about it. Maybe when there's a trailer out I'll do it, but for now there's just a few images and a brief rundown of the story. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't been following it, the film is supposed to follow the events of the first and second game in one film. Characters like Jill, Chris, Leon, Claire, Wesker, they're all in there, but there's a bit of a conversation about the choice of cast and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into detail about it because it's a whole thing, but I do have hope for the film. As long as the film is good, I guess you can kind of forgive the choices of actors and stuff. But again, we could see a trailer for the film at Tokyo Game Show from Capcom, who kind of want to announce it on their own because it does come out in November, and there is so far not a trailer, and that is 2 months out, so pretty close to not have a trailer. Next up is the apparent Resident Evil outrage. Again, if you want a full rundown of any information around that game, I have multiple videos about it on the channel. You can go find those and check those out. But essentially this was going to be the Revelations 3 game. You would play as Rebecca Chambers, and apparently the second character was leaked to be Leon. I've seen a different opinion on that leak, whether it's Rebecca and Leon or Rebecca and Barry or whatever. But it's supposed to be a timed Switch exclusive for about a year or 6 months. Runs on that RE engine, which again, great engine. If you've played Switch games, you'll know that Monster Hunter Rise runs on the engine and it looks and plays incredibly well on Switch. So again, this is supposed to be a Switch exclusive for some amount of time, and the next entry into the Revelation series, and it's meant to take place after the events of Resident Evil Village. So could that be announced? Possibly. I believe the first leak ever that happened for that way back before Village was released was that this game will come out at the end of the year, but I don't know if that's still the case or not. We'll just have to see. Next topic is the big one, I think for most people, is the Resident Evil 4 Remake announcement. This thing is all but confirmed at this point. We know it's coming, we know it's in development, and is kind of going through some changes through mainly because of the response of the 3 Remake being not so great. They completely started the development of the 4 Remake over again, and it is going through, the 4 Remake kind of deal. Kind of like RE2 Remake. That's kind of the level I would expect the quality of this to be at. Again, people love Resident Evil 4. They think it's the best game in the series, and you gotta do it just especially, after the response of the 3 Remake, because some people love that one. Some people say that is the best in the series. Everyone has a different opinion, and you want to see your favourite game, if it gets remade, kind of be good. You want it to do well, you want it to be good, you want it to play like you remember, but being different at the same time. There's a lot on the line for a remake, especially of a game of this size. But yeah, the 4 Remake is rumoured to be releasing in 2023, which, a couple of years away. But maybe we'll get some official announcement that it's being worked on, maybe a small trailer, although unlikely. But again, this is a thing that is coming that is yet to be officially announced. Finally, we have the Resident Evil 8 DLC. Obviously, the DLC was announced to be being made at E3. We didn't get any information of what the DLC would be or who it would involve. I made multiple videos talking about each character and potential DLC ideas that they could introduce for them. Again, be sure to kind of check those videos out. I'll leave a link to the playlist of my RE8 videos down in the description, and you'll be able to find those videos and watch them as you please. We covered all the lords, we covered Mia, Chris, Ethan potentially, and basically every character that was in the game over a course of a week. So there's a lot of avenues they could take the DLC for Village down, and I do believe that the game itself is brilliant. Resident Evil Village is brilliant, and if the DLC follows the same kind of pattern, or even switches it up, maybe they make a fully horror DLC, or a fully action DLC, or a blend of the two, or something completely different, I think the DLC will still be a really good addition to the game. And then of course the Reverse game that did get delayed until 2022, the very beginning of 2022. Maybe we'll get an update on that, how the development's going, whether it's been cancelled or changed in any way. I made a lot of videos up to the release of that, but it did get delayed literally kind of last minute, like a week before it was supposed to launch, which kind of sucked, but it is what it is. I know that a lot of people were genuinely excited about that game, and that's fine, each to their own opinion. But to be honest, I quite enjoyed the beta as well, and was kind of looking forward to playing it. But if it needs more time, then it needs more time. There's not very much we can do. But maybe we'll get an update on development for that game at Tokyo Game Show as well. But that is going to do it. Let me know what you want to see more so from Tokyo Game Show. Is it 4? Is it the 3 Remake leak? Is it Village? Is it Outrage? There's a lot of different opportunities to show something new from the Resident Evil series for Capcom, and I would imagine there'll be something, probably. At least one thing there, at least. My kind of own opinion will probably be RE8 specific, maybe the DLC, because obviously that's under this game, they want to promote it, and the DLC is in development, so maybe they can show us something or give us an idea on what to expect. So that is probably what I would say is most likely to be announced at Tokyo Game Show, but that could be wrong. There could be more than that, who knows. So leave your thoughts down in the description, down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Resident Evil content. I know it's not as frequent as it used to be, but again, like I've said, whenever there's something new, whenever there's something, news, links, wise, I'll cover it basically immediately. But for now, obviously I'm not burnt out playing the games, but there is not a lot for me to do in the games. I will be streaming them still occasionally. I think in the next couple of weeks I'll probably do a Resident Evil 4 stream and maybe go back to Village and do a playthrough just for fun. But yeah, for now, I'll leave you all with this video. Thank you for coming by, and I'll see you all tomorrow for a brand new video.